Bonjour. Hola. We're here, everybody. We are here. We are going to give it a couple minutes. It is all my fault. I was telling twins, I fell asleep. I took a nap thinking that I just needed to take a 20-minute nap. And that 20-minute nap turned into whatever it turned into. And I woke up thinking it was actually tomorrow morning until it took me a minute for my brain to click in that, oh, you have a show, and it was 8:55. So I brushed, take a shower, put my makeup on. But we are here. So happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday and happy good evening, good night. Yes, it's still Thursday.
Ah,
But
it is still Thursday. It is still
what?
Thursday.
Listen, I would have been late too, but I got woken up. So trust me, I understand. Once you get in these late 40s, you know what I'm saying? You can't be standing up all day. You gotta take your little naps.
So I take a nap. And
Yeah.
I usually am so good at like all of this, and I realized like my body, I have definitely turned 40. I'm going through the woman 40. Now I don't know what man 40 is like, but woman 40 comes with a very dirty M word. And before that M word is another M word attached to another word. It's called perimenopause. And apparently that's what I'm going through. My body is not happy with me, so I'm just happy to be here.
We're glad
just
you're here. Yeah. We're
uh,
glad you're here.
and thank you. I'm just happy to be here. How has your week been, twins?
Very productive. It's productive. No
I
drama.
love that for
All's
you.
good. Productive. Very good. Work is good. Life is good.
That is how life should be. Mine's has been okay. Mine's has been good. Lots of changes ahead. Lots of things to do. I'll share at some point, but there are big things ahead, and once I can share with everybody, I will. But it's been amazing. So I'm not going to keep us too late. Considering I fell asleep and took a nap and took up part of the show, but we are doing Q&A. I had some help from Chat GBT to come up with some questions that I will ask and we will both answer. But before we get into that, it is May 1st, and I'm happy to announce that the second part of Love Rules is out today. It is out. So Love Rules number two, Love Reimagined, is out today, May 1st. And now there are two parts of Love Rules. Again, it is a six-part series. Number three will be out June the 1st, and so forth and so on, until I release the entire compilation of the book on the seventh month. So please, if you have not checked out Love Rules, please do so. Also, my other book, No Handouts for Black Girls, is also available. It is my pride and joy. I published that a few years ago, and last few months found out the Toronto Public Library also acquired that book. So it's part of their permanent online collection. It's in their app. So like, don't let anybody tell you you can't do what you put your mind to, because I'm living proof that if you put your mind to doing something, I never thought I could say that I had a book in the library. I was a little girl who read a lot of books. I used to be at the library all the time, reading books. And now to say that I have a book in the public library app, which is so amazing, because that means if you have that app and you have a Toronto library card, it doesn't matter where you are, you can read that book. So it is amazing. So I'm gonna big myself up, as Jamaicans say, because I don't think we do that enough. So big up to me, for all
Congratulations.
the hard work. Thank you. I. It is a flex now. Like it
That's
has become a flex for me. Like I'm in the library. Like I have a book in the library. What are you talking about right now? Like that is something that I never thought I'd be able to say. Never even thought it was a possibility, but it is.
listen, when your daughter gets married and settle down and have kids, you can say, "Look, grandma got books."
Yes,
You know what
yes,
I'm saying?
yes. And
And
say
listen,
that to my
yeah,
grandbaby.
and ladies and gentlemen, make sure you hear what I said when she gets married.
Yes, that is clear. My daughter is very aware that despite what me and her father may have done, having her out of wedlock, that is not going to be her path. It is something that both her father and I have told her, and she's very well aware. She's actually said to me she has no idea how I even did this journey alone. It's not something she's interested in doing alone. So you do not have to continue a future of is it laid enough fuckery in your bloodline because I actually saw marriage and my father was very disappointed, although he loves his granddaughter, rest in peace, daddy, that I did not have a child within a marriage. So I'm instilling that in my daughter, and I will instill that in my granddaughter or grandson, whichever I have in the future. So welcome everybody. Again, like, share, subscribe. Let me make sure that I put that up as you come in. Please like, share, subscribe. Let people know about the show. We really are changing the conversation around, Black relationships. I see clips online that talk about, topics that we talk about, but not in the way that we talk about them. I think we're raw, we're honest, we have differing perspectives. And again, we have open engagement and dialogue on the show. But tonight we are going to make it fun. I've got some questions here. I didn't even read all of them, to be honest, so it's going to be a surprise. It's going to be a surprise for me as well in terms of these questions. So we ready? Quincy,
We
we
ready.
ready? Okay. First question. And this one is difficult for me. I think I know your answer, but this one has been tough for me. Do you know how to love someone who doesn't need saving?
Hmm. Do I know how to love someone who does not need savings?
Saving. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't be. I ain't saving nobody.
Oh.
Don't save her. You don't want to be saved. Don't save her. But yeah. So um, I don't know the answer to that one. Do I know somebody who don't. I don't get into a relationship to save someone, right?
Mm,
I get into a relationship to build with someone, right? We help each other out. We have goals. We have things that we strive for. It's not that, hey, let me help you out, So let me be a man and I get some benefits of you. And while getting benefits of you, I'm saving you by paying this bill. And no, we're not doing that. And then and also that sound like chaotic, like chaos over there. Chill, you know what I mean? I'm speaking from a guy to a woman's point of view, right?
mm,
So I wouldn't be trying to like I'm not at the age of 42 being divorced now. I'm not in the business of saving no woman at this point. Have
God
your
bless
stuff,
you.
have your stuff together. Listen, I'm still going through some stuff. I'm working through whatever, but we both can be jacked up.
That's fine.
So yeah,
That's fine.
sure.
I'm going to change it a bit. I know I had this revelation on the show a few months ago, and it is something that I've realized more and more. Um, I thrive in relationships where my partner needs me, not just wants me. I don't do so well when my partner just wants me and doesn't need me. Because I do fly in and I am here to fix your life like a Miana Van Zant. Like, you have a problem, I'm putting on the Superwoman cape and I'm going in and I'm going to fix your issue. As I fix your issue, you're loving me more because you're seeing your life get better. When I'm in the life of someone who doesn't need saving or fixing or just wants to be with me, I realized that I struggle in that a little bit because I'm like, okay, like what am I doing here? Like, what is my purpose? Because my purpose has always been to come in and save and make better and fix and so forth. And I didn't realize what an issue it was until I got with someone who just wanted to be with me and didn't need me to do anything. And that was hard. It was a hard realization for me. But I think my friends always saw it. And I just saw it as I was a good woman. I was a good woman. If a man had a thing, like And this is not even like men who had financial issues. Like they could have just not been in the job that they of their dreams, or so, like something they had mother wounds with something. But I was coming in there to love them and kind of heal them from all of this. And getting with someone who doesn't need all of that has been a bit of a challenge for me, and I'm recognizing, and I've had to work through that. So I can say that I am learning to love um, men who don't need saving. And that's been an interesting challenge. I'm going to be vulnerable tonight, so I'm going to move out past that one. Um, Next one. Has sex ever made you stay in something you knew wasn't love?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I think we all have. Yeah. I think we stay into a friendship or relationship or some type of ship with someone because of the sexual satisfaction that you receive from each other. Not saying it's good, but I think, it's part of life you experience yourself, and I think that's the only thing that kept the shit, whatever it is, whatever
Yeah, yeah,
together was that.
yeah.
And once you got past that, then that was it. So I think as human, and learning as you're young, you go through experiences, those things you kind of learn, you know, she's not good for me, but the sex is good. Ah, man, what I'm going to do? But then once climax, then what? You know what I'm saying?
Fact.
Like, bye, go home. So I think it comes with maturity. You know what I'm saying? Understanding what you need, what you want. So
Love it. Love that. And I love that you said whatever the ship, because I think the key, if people are listening to the question, that sex ever made you stay in something you knew wasn't love? It didn't say a relationship, because that's very different, right? So I think I agree with you. I've definitely stayed in something, whatever that something was defined on, because the sex was like incredible. I knew it. I think we both knew it wasn't going to go anywhere, but my God, that magnetic draw that you had to each other kept you. And that's what we're booty calls. A lot of that is where like booty calls, or I mean, I don't know. These kids call it things different, but we'll call it booty calls, or the friends with benefits type thing, or that person that when you're not in a relationship, like that's the first person you don't even think about anybody else. Is the first person you call because you think about those moments. And if you've ever watched Sinners, there is a line, not to ruin it for you, but there is a line where she basically, the character touches Michael B. Jordan's character. Oh my God, what happened to my phone? Um, Sorry, I don't know. My phone just went out for a second. That's really weird. Anyway, she touches Michael B.'s character in his nether region, and she basically says, "Your body didn't forget me." Right? I think we've maybe all had that person where it's like your body didn't forget them, and it's probably pretty dangerous, those types of relationships. But we move on. Oh God, this is a good one, and I am curious to know how we both answer this question, because I'm not even quite sure how I'm going to answer it. Did you like who you were in your last relationship?
no, I did not like who I was. I did not like who I was after going through the whole process and looking at it, because there's a lot of things that I didn't like that person. I'm like, why did I do that?
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? And it's a shame that you have to go through certain experiences to learn yourself. It's like if I would have knew those experiences, I probably wouldn't been in that relationship. You understand what I'm saying? So yes, sitting here and looking back, I don't like the person I was. There's things I could have been better at too, right? Not that
hmm
the other person, I'm like, dang, I could have did this differently, which might have gave me a different outcome. But that old person, that last relationship, no, I'm never going to be that person again. And it may come off as me being, let's say, bitter or stern or whatever it may be. It's just that I let a lot of things slide, which I shouldn't have let slide. Right? Trying to keep the peace. You know what I'm saying? Trying to happy wife, happy life. No. Some things you have to be firm on and stick to it. because then those things will eventually eat at you till you get to a breaking point. So I kind of hope I answered some of my question.
No, you absolutely did. And as you were talking, I was also thinking about how exactly am I going to answer this. I will say that I am grateful for who I was in my last relationship. I think I learned a lot from that relationship. The show came out of that relationship, but as I look back, I did not like who I was in that relationship. And I remember my girlfriend asking me a question, and she says, she was basically like, would your best self have have been in that relationship when you got into it? My immediate answer was yes. And then when I took a step back, I think circumstances brought us both together, and I think we loved each other for what it was, and I think we can both probably say we were grateful. But I think both of us knew in our probably our own way that this might not be forever because we were on completely two different paths, but what we had was so beautiful, but it wasn't meant forever. I definitely think, there's a poem that says you meet people for a reason, season, and a lifetime. And I definitely think that relationship was for a reason. Like I said, this show was born out of it. But I didn't like who I was. And I think I think COVID relationships, a lot of that happened. There was so much going on, and we were all going through our own steps of how to deal with something we never knew would ever happen in our lifetime. And we clung on to each other if you had somebody as tight as you could because you're watching so much of the world like fall right in front of your eyes. But all grateful for it, but I definitely did not like myself in the last relationship. I had nothing to do with him. It was all about Toshiba. And I was sure you would say it had nothing to do with your ex-wife, but it's all about Dwayne, right? Like who Dwayne is. It's not to put blame on that person. They're not responsible for how you are in that relationship you are. And I think we try to make a lot of compromises, in relationships
A
for
lot
love.
of miles.
Yeah, a lot of compromises where I think if I look back now, sometimes I'm a little harsher now. If my current relationship were to not work, like I've been clear, like I don't want men with multiple kids, like I don't want this, I don't want that. I think I compromised so much, and I realized like that's not the life that I want. It's the life that he has, and there was so much compromise. I love that person so much that I just would not do ever again because I see my life like that again, and it's just it's not what I want. So, but we wish them both the best in life. Well,
Sure.
I'm going to speak for
Sure.
you. This is an interesting question. And I think there's a lot I would love for the people watching to really think about that, even if you don't put it in the chat. As usual, the link is there if you want to jump on. Are you showing up for love or just surviving relationships? Again, are you showing up for love or just surviving relationships?
I want to say neither because
Mm.
I'm definitely not basing my next relationship on love, right?
Ooh.
Just not because love comes and goes. So definitely know that. And then what was the second part? Survival? No, what was the second part you said?
Are you showing up for love or just surviving relationships?
Or just surviving a relationship? So what do you mean by surviving a relationship? What do you mean by that part?
I think, we've talked about this a little bit, right? Like there are people
Oh yeah, I
in
agree.
relationship for convenience or reasons beyond love, right? Like reasons for,
Yeah.
and we've talked about that. I can talk from a woman's standpoint. There's a lot of us in relationships because we need someplace to lay our head or that I'm saying a lot of us women, sometimes if we're surviving relationships, there's usually a financial motive attached. Or for some people, they throw in children and finances. So now you're just trying to get through that relationship until the kids turn 18 or some change happens in your life so you can move on. So stuff like that.
Yeah. So
I hope that.
yes. So back to what I said originally, neither. Neither. Because then that comes with a lot of strength too. If somebody's there, let's say for financial needs, and they know that they're for that financial needs. So when there's an argument, something come up, they use that as ammo. Well, you wouldn't be here without me. If you know what I'm saying. So no,
Mm.
I'm more in it for the companionship, building. You know what I'm saying, longevity, but definitely not for love, and definitely not for financial need. Yeah.
I'm gonna echo that and just say ditto. Like I think ditto. I don't want to be in any relationship where I feel like I'm just surviving. I think my bigger problem is that I'm a runner, I'm a track star. Like the moment my equilibrium starts going off, I don't care if I love you, like you, or anything in between. The moment I start to feel uncomfortable or just not feeling like that relationship is a safe space, I'm gonna cut juice and leave because I don't like that. So I'm gonna say neither. Okay. Um, this is a good one. And I think this is an interesting one for women. So I'm actually gonna answer this one first. What's harder for you to say? I'm sorry or I need help. So again, what's harder for you to say? I'm sorry or I need help. It is harder for me to say I need help. I can say I'm sorry. I know when I've effed up. I have no problem saying I'm sorry or I apologize or whatever the case. I can feel it and know it when I've messed up. I don't do so well asking for help, telling somebody that I need help because I've always found a way out of whatever the case might have been. I've always found a way out, and I'm accustomed to being the person who finds their way out of stuff. Like I think about how I even started writing. It was out of a necessity of COVID, but I shouldn't say writing, but publishing books. It is kind of out of a necessity of COVID because I needed to channel my energy of everything that was going on in my life into something. And so I did that and it's led to, where I am and the things that I have today. So for me to turn around to someone and say, "Oh no, I need help," I might allude to it, but the words "I need help" just, yeah, they're not coming out of my mouth. What about yourself?
Saying sorry and was or I need help, right?
Hmm.
Ooh. So I think so. I say both as it's still a challenge. So for sorry part is I could definitely say sorry, but I have to be strategic when I say sorry, right? Because I don't want to
Mm.
say sorry and then say but however, then dismiss what
Hmm.
I'm sorry for. So you know what I'm saying, I can say sorry. I just have to be strategic to making sure that I'm not dismissing the sorry with, well, if you didn't do this or if you didn't do that or because of this, so that part there. And then what's the second part?
Or you need help, or I need help. Which one is harder for you to say? I'm sorry, or I need help.
So for me being a guy, and I'm speaking for most guys there, I think it's hard for us to say we need help because, as we stated, I think last episode or episode before that, we kind of lose our manpower when it comes to that.
Hmm.
Because as men, we pride ourselves of being providers, protectors. If, like I said, most things, if we don't get nothing right inside of the whole thing called a relationship, being provider and protector is two things we definitely want to stand on. I want to be the
Hmm.
man that always protect you, and I want to be that provider. So you know what I'm saying. So the ask for the provider part it's kind of hard because now I'm giving away some of my power that makes me who I am, right?
Mm.
So that's a challenge there too.
And I think that one's interesting. I knew you were gonna pick that one, and I think that as someone who wants to fix things, like I'm solutions oriented, right? Like there was a problem, there was a solution. I want to get through it. I think my challenge is if my partner even hints at the fact that they need help without saying it, like they just say something, I'm ready to be like ask a million questions because I'm trying to be like, how can we do this? How can we solve? How can we solve? And I think I'm learning to just be a safe space to listen because the moment I start to jump in, I think that becomes an issue as well. as opposed to just being a place where he can vent and listen without me asking a million questions to try to like solve the issue. And I think ladies, let's remember that part if you have a personality like mine that is solutions oriented, because in my work I'm solutions oriented, right? Like people come to me in my office because there's a problem and Toshiba has to fix it. When anybody rings me, they're like, "Do you have a second?" I'm like, "I know what it is. There's something that's going on in another department, and because I'm the revenue generator, you need me to go get money to fix whatever the issue is, because in business, money fixes things." And so because I'm called upon that at work, I think sometimes I feel like I have to be the same in a relationship and I don't. And I think that's the struggle probably for a lot of us in those corporate positions, that we feel like, okay, well, now I have to fix it instead of just being a listener, and being an ear. So that was interesting. So this is another good one. I think we probably can both quickly answer that. Have you ever lost a good woman, or have I or us females ever lost a good man because you weren't ready?
Oh yes, definitely.
Oh,
Yes.
that was quick.
Yes. 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 Definitely. I definitely. Yes. Mm-hmm.
You just were gonna leave it there. You said, "Yep,
Yes.
no
Yes.
more, no more needs to be said."
It hurt. It kind of hurts a little bit because it's like, yo, the potential was there, but I just wasn't in the place to be there as well. So it's like, I lost a good one. So yeah, I got two of them. I felt like if I can rewind time and do things a little differently. So yeah.
Turn back the hands of time. If
Mm.
I could turn back the hands of time, I'm gonna answer this one a little different. So yes, but I projected and made it so that I thought they weren't ready. I'm going to be honest tonight. So I projected on the person thinking they weren't ready, when in actuality, it's likely that I wasn't ready. And I'm going to explain myself. So I think everyone who's watched this show knows I am a mother. I have a 23-year-old, and her father and I have not been together since she was like 1 year old. And I met this amazing man, who we were in our early 30s. He did not have children, and I am a mother of one on purpose. I chose not to have any other children because I did not want to have children with different men. Even in my marriage, that was part of it. I was not going to ever have a baby with someone else. So when I met this man, he was great. My mother actually just mentioned him the other day. He was an amazing man, but I remember he asked me 3 times to be together before I said yes on the third time, because I was like, "Are you sure you want to do this? Like, you don't have kids. Like, if you're committing to me, you're committing to a life without children. It's my child." Like, and that I know men want to have legacies. And he said, and he convinced me that he was okay with it. And then about a year and a bit into our relationship, his sister had a baby, and his family started seeing how I was with calling my daughter and now the baby, because we would go over like every weekend, and I'm the one who put the baby to sleep and would take it from the mom and do all that. And then the questions started coming of, when are you guys gonna have kids? And even though he wasn't the one asking, I kind of was like, I'm not sure. Like, I don't think you're ready for what comes with me. And I won't lie, I did it a little bit in my current relationship, because my current guy doesn't have kids either. And so that has been one of the things that we've had to really talk about is, what, you don't have kids, you can still have kids. I'm never having any more kids. And, we kind of came to the point where he's like, "Listen, should we get married? I get to be a grandfather. Like, I get to experience kids without like being a grandfather." And I was like, "Is that enough for you? Like, as a man, like you want kids." So that's, for me, I think that's always been my challenge in dating. Like, I closed up the baby factory at 21, right? My daughter's father wanted to have another child, and I was like, hell to the no. Like, I don't want multiple children, and I'm not, like, it's a no. So it's been difficult being a, single woman with a child, meeting, because I meet more men without ladies. For Kevin Samuels was right. I can tell you just by my own life, I will tell you, I meet and date more men without kids than I do with kids. And so that's always been a challenge of I have projected on them that they weren't ready, but I don't think I was ready to deal with a situation where I was with someone and my biggest fear is that they woke up one day and said, shit, I do want kids.
Yeah. Hmm.
I want a kid. I want a kid. It is still a struggle. It is still a challenge in my current relationship that I think to myself, like, he could wake up one day and say, yeah, we had a really good run, but I really want to be a dad. And it's just like being a grandfather may not be enough, and that becomes a bit of a challenge for me. So I've definitely lost out on good men. I can name one, and potentially two if my boyfriend so one day decides that he wants a kid, because of just it was a kid part for me. No other thing, but I at 30 and at 28 and 27, I had the ability to have a child and I chose not to. Now at 45, I do not have the ability to have a child. And so I don't even have a choice in the matter of like, and it's just a no. So, anyways, that's a little insight into my life. There we go. Um, this is a good one. Give me 1 second. Here we go. Okay. What does emotional safety actually look like to you? So, emotional safety, what does that look like to you?
I would assume emotional safety. I mean, peace.
Hmm.
Peace, meaning that I'm not having a daily or weekly or monthly mental war with you.
Ooh, mental war. Explain, elaborate on mental warfare, because that's what it sounds like.
Yeah, it's just the arguing about dumb shit.
Mm,
Let me draw a better picture for you.
ready.
Like, everybody may not have experienced, but have heard the story of the father coming home, but sitting in the car for like 15, 20 minutes before going.
Heard it. Yep.
Right. So that's an example of the mental warfare because it's not that he don't want to do it with kids, is that when I go in his house, what laundry list of things is this woman going to have for me? Or she going to tell me what the kids were acting out today? She's going to tell me about her girlfriend that I don't give a crap about. And then all of a sudden now we're in an argument because her girlfriend is going through something now. Now she's going to ask me questions like that. Don't do that dumb shit. Um, it just after working an 8 hour, 12-hour shift, I had to get mentally prepared to go in to hear something or fix something that, you know what I'm saying, I don't feel like doing after working a 12-hour shift. Right. And I say I'll get it done, but then when y'all ask for something, y'all actually mean it now. You don't mean like later on when you get
Oh.
say, babe, can you change that fire alarm beat sound? Oh yeah, I got it, babe. They mean do it now, not when you ready. So it's just that mental welfare. Just that's like, okay, what am I about to walk into the house and what I gotta deal with and try to be problem solver or even problem solver. Just hearing about all the shit you going through. You know what I'm saying? Before
Yeah.
I can load my day onto you, I gotta hear about your stuff or your friend's stuff because your girlfriend called you and had you on the phone because she was crying about XYZ, and I gotta deal with that because now you want to recap to me about what's going on, even though I don't give a fuck what's going on, right? So, but as the man in the relationship, you have to, okay, yeah, babe, tell me about it. You have to act like you care, even though you don't care. Because then if you don't care and she like, I can't talk to you. You see what I'm saying now? You see how the mental warfare is what I'm talking about? That part. So I'm done.
Okay. Yeah. Uh, we do that. I am so guilty. There are times where I have to be like, okay, babe, like enough about me, because it's like, and he'll ask, and I'll be like, okay, I actually I know I talk about what's going on with me a lot. What's going on with you? So I get it. I think emotional safety for me is just knowing that I can be my most vulnerable with you in whatever form that looks like, right? Whether it is being able to have those conversation about what's going on in my professional life or what's going on with me personally, or just having that freedom to be my full authentic self. Like I was talking about being in Miami and actually skipping down the street, like in just like that's not necessarily something I do in every relationship, right? Like I'm a grown woman. I'm skipping down the street in the middle of Miami, but I felt safe enough and accepted enough. I think there is emotional safety to me is full acceptance and feeling like my partner fully accepts me for everything that comes with me, and I don't have to put on this facade of this whomever I think he wants me to be, but just being who I am. So that's emotional safety to me, and I think we need to look at that. I've said this before that a lot of women are quicker to share their bodies than their hearts and their vulnerabilities with their men. And I think that being naked in front of a man is the most vulnerable thing that you can do. But so many of us will share our bodies before we share a lot of that other stuff. And there's so many relationships that have that, and that's just not that's never going to be fulfilling because sex is so intimate and you need to really have a connection. I think we can talk about in our 40s now, like if we've ever had situation when we look back and we go, oh yeah, that's why that didn't work because it was just sex. There was really nothing there. And you need that extra something to really be safe. And for me, I can't be this at this stage in my life. I'm going to tell you, I think as it started in my late 20s into my 30s and definitely now in my 40s, if I don't feel emotionally and mentally safe with you, I can't even get physical with you. It's difficult to go there for me. So that's emotional safety. So this is a good one. Can you spot the difference between someone who wants you and someone who values you? I'm going to repeat. Can you spot the difference between someone who wants you and someone who values you? Queens, I'll let you go first.
Yes. Yes.
How
Yes.
do you do that?
So the person who
How do you
wants
do that?
me, they
Hmm.
want me. Um, but well, of course, by listening is number
Mm,
one because they're going to tell you,
listen.
and unintentionally, maybe, or maybe intentionally, they're going to tell you they want you, and they want you for what you can do for them.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? So, and and there'll be that person who constantly, they, you know how, well, you may not know, but as a guy being in a relationship, females will be like, "Oh, you do that, you do all this, you do that for her, and she don't value that. You're a good man." I mean, I'm so messed up that because they see the benefits of a kind of man that the potential, that I am, right?
mm,
So they want that part because they know the financial safety, security, not having to work or not able to do X, Y, Z. So they want those things, right? That's how I know because when they speak about, oh man, I wish I didn't have to work, or I wish somebody could take care of, you know what I mean? Like those things, people just still to tell you, it's like you don't really want me. You want the benefits of me, what I can do
mm.
for you, right? So that's how I'm able to tell.
You know what? I think it took me a while. It took me a while to know the difference because I think as a woman, I've talked about it on this show, the difference between attention and intention. For a long time, I'm not sure I deciphered the two. I'm not sure that I deciphered the difference between a man showing me attention versus showing me intention. I eventually figured it out, and thank God I did, and thank God I was a woman who did that without, leaving a trail of baby fathers um, or having children with multiple men, as I like to call it. I'm glad that I was able to do that, but it took me a while, and I think what you said is valid. It was through watching and listening. My dad really was big on a man is not just words, he's action, right? And I think that was the key of watching his actions to ensure they aligned with his words. And I think that was where I started seeing that, because when you're a woman who's used to getting a lot of attention, sometimes our pickers are off, right? And we pick for the wrong reason. There's a saying in Jamaican, you pick until you pick shit, right? That's something my mother used to say all the time. You're so picky, you pick and pick until you pick shit, which is the wrong thing for you. So I can say in my later years, and I can probably say that now in my 40s, I had to learn the difference between a man who wants me and values me, and it's through his words aligning with his actions. And I see we have somebody new. Welcome, Travoris Hunt. I see that you said they just lazy. I'm not sure what that's referring to. If you wanted to elaborate on that, feel free to let me know. But that is important. Here is, hold on. Here's a good one. Can you handle your partner's past without making it your problem? So again, can you handle your partner's past without making it your problem?
That's a hard one. Whew, that's a hard one. Their past is sometimes the reason why you have a lot of conflict, because they haven't got the healing from the past sins that they've been through. Yeah. Okay? And most of the time, they'll bring it up because you may do something to kind of trigger something. It's not that I'm out here asking you and tell me all about your exes or your history, whatever. It's just when something happened, it kind of sparks something, and you like, oh, I'm still dealing with that because that's something I did last time. You know what I mean? Like you'll bring it up, and then now I know, okay, that's why you're triggered or whatever it may be, because I'm dealing with your past scars. So that's a tough one. That's a tough one.
Yeah.
Because also
I
too,
agree.
it also their past also still impacts your future, because
Absolutely.
If there's things that you want to do, travel, vacation, sex, whatever it may be, you may have never done it, but then they might have done it and don't want to do it because, oh, I did already. I don't do that no more. Well, that's your past, right? But that has nothing to do with what I'm trying to do with our future. And then there's a conflict because now I can't spend things with you because you did already, because you lived your life, right? But now I want to try to experience some of those things that it ain't the same. So it's a constant ongoing thing there. And I just say there just need to be a compromise. And of course, get healing. Like close those chapters that was there previously. So when you're in a new relationship, you can enjoy the new relationship with no worries. Yeah. That makes sense.
No, that makes a lot of sense. And I'm gonna answer no. It is difficult for me. I actually just said a few moments ago, I'm also solutions oriented. And I am, and this is a conversation I had with my boyfriend recently, like I am sympathetic, I am not empathetic. I can provide sympathy. I am never going to pretend to say that I'm empathetic. I am not a person who can, put myself in someone's shoes and go, oh my God, if that was me. I don't do that. It is one of my flaws, especially in a relationship. I don't know if it's coming from a Jamaican family. I don't know what it is for me, but there is that. If you have a problem, you figure it out, you get a solution, and you move forward. Like, why are we talking about this? Like, fix your problems, and call it a day. So I think that's where my issue comes in, and it doesn't necessarily have to do with anything, because I'm open to anything. But the moment you start bringing up like, oh, this is what's impacting me, I'm like, get over it. Like, move on. Like, what are you talking about? Like, what are we doing? Like, and I realize I've had to say to people, like, I'm not an empathetic person. It is a flaw. If you're looking for somebody who's going to give you empathy, I'm just not her, because I am you got to move on. I don't know if it's the immigrant thing in me, because as an immigrant, I don't get to just be like, oh, wow, it's me. I gotta get it out the mud, as people say. So I think that's where that comes in for me, is that you start telling me about things and I'm just like, cry me a river, get some help. Like, did you go to therapy? Like, what are we doing? And I'm still a great partner, and I can be sympathetic. I get what you're saying, babe, but no, like, get over it. I have no time for this. Like, life is moving. So I'm working on that. And I do see Trevoris has put something here, so I'm going to put it. And welcome to the stage. A woman's past is important to men because it's an indicator for the future. Men preferably would like a woman with a clean slate. I saw you shaking your head on that, Twin. What does that mean? A woman with a clean slate to you?
A woman, yeah, definitely. Meaning that a woman doesn't have mileage.
Oh, what is mileage?
Like, so mileage. So meaning that I'm gonna speak to the sexual part. Maybe he's not
Mm-hmm.
part of not, but I'm gonna speak to that part. Meaning that sexually, right? In your heydays, young days, or when you're in college or whatever it may be, when you're living your best life, hot girl summers, whatever. You
Not
might
the
have did
hospital.
so many, right? You might have did so many things in your past, right? So now that you with somebody, a guy now, and most guys, and we talk about this, most guys out here don't get ass. Most the average guy, you know what I mean? The
Yeah,
body count
remember
is
we
low,
read that
right?
stat? You read that stat, like it was the average of like 5 women or something in their entire sexual lifespan.
Yes, not me, but BS. Some out there's 5, right? It's crazy, but I believe it though. So that's like you said. That's why, like you said, now you meet so many men out there that don't have no kids, right? Because you gotta have sex to have kids, right? Well, if they ain't getting none, that makes sense. So anyway, so what I'm saying that is that so now now I'm in a relationship with you, right? And there's things that I might never experience because I have the opportunity to experience those things, right? But then I ask, hey, I want to try this. I don't do that no more because
Mm.
I did that when I was young. But I never experienced it because I wasn't out there like that. You know what I'm saying? So now it's like, okay, well, what can I do with you that you haven't done? If I'm trying to
Mm.
make you my girlfriend, my fiance, my wife, but then everything I want to try to do, you're already done already, or you don't want to do. I mean, my thing is woman, like, just don't tell me what you did it before. Just do it. You know what I mean? My
Yeah.
personal opinion. But that's what we say with a clean slate. Or not, maybe, I mean, we understand now in this day and age it won't be a clean slate. But how about make it a lower count or something? Meaning that it's something that you still be open to do now. You might have did it one time back then, but you did like 50 million times back then. Of course you don't want to do it now, right? But that's what I'm
Hmm.
saying. For a woman with a clean slate or a low body count. So then when we have those intimate experiences, it's a new experience for both of us. Or at least make it seem new to me. You understand what I'm saying? Don't turn it off saying, I did already. Shit, I need a whole new girl then. If I can't do nothing with you,
not
you know what I
not
mean?
you trading in, not the
Yeah.
trade
Or
in.
well, I haven't done, and then you'll compromise. Well, I haven't done this. It'll be something that I don't want to do.
Would it be better if the woman? Now, I'm gonna straight up ask guys. Would it be better if the woman just lied?
Take it to the grave. I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Listen, stroking your man's ego
Hmm.
or your partner's ego, right? You should want to stroke your partner's ego, regardless. You like it's not gonna hurt. It's not gonna hurt them because they don't know. What I don't know doesn't hurt me. What I don't know doesn't kill me, right? But when you
Hmm.
try to
Hmm.
tell me everything, it ruins the moment. So I land my plan there.
Mm, mm, okay. Okay. This is a good. I'm probably just going to ask maybe two or three more questions. Is there a version of yourself right now that you're trying to outgrow when it comes to being in a relationship? So a version of yourself you're trying to outgrow.
What what do you mean by that? Like grow what?
I think for me, so I'll start. So one of the things for me, and we talked about it just about 20 minutes ago. I am trying to outgrow being in relationships with men who need me and not just want me. And I'm also trying to outgrow not knowing how to be in a relationship with a man who wants me because I'm so accustomed to a man who needs me, because that is stunting my growth in relationships unknowingly. So that is something for me as I learned even at 45 years old. Like I think about, going all the way back to my husband. My husband was someone who needed me more than he wanted me. Yes, he loved me as his wife, but I even think about as I remember things that he would come home and say, like when I moved there to be with him and kind of coming in and changing his diet and just doing certain things, and people are like, since your wife came and since you got married, you're the best version of yourself, like as opposed to meeting a man who was already a great version of themselves, just like making them a better version of themselves by things that I did, and a man whose life is kind of together, who's like, yep, my life is good. You just fit here, as opposed to, yeah, my life is good, but it could be better, and now I'm here to fix it. I'm working at growing that woman who is the Mrs. Fix It, and just being with a man solely because he thinks I'm the best partner for him. So that would be what I'm trying to outgrow.
Well, okay, that makes sense now. I guess the only thing I can say that I'm trying to outgrow, which it won't happen because it's needed, is
Uh-huh.
women that take accountability. Like I can't let that go. I need you to have it, but you know what I'm saying. I need it, but I can't let that. I can't let it slide. So so women that I talk to or deal with, they think like, what I can't think of the word. It'll come to me, but I'm big on accountability. So it kind of comes off as like, oh, you hate women or hate black women. I'm like,
Ooh.
yeah, rabbit ass mine. Love my sisters, but y'all need to have accountability. It's just that simple. Like there's nothing. Yeah, men is always held accountable for everything, regardless.
You guys are.
Even if
You
I
guys
can't be
are.
accountable with me and you, yeah. Even if I, if,
Yeah.
even if me, say we're dating, me and you, even though you can't make me accountable, but the legal system make me accountable. The
Mm-hmm.
court system make me accountable. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
When you switch the roles, there's no. So that's why it's a hurdle, but I'm not gonna let it go. Like,
Yeah.
if anything, my next relationship or next marriage is based off accountability, not love, accountability.
I can respect it. I don't know why the go-to for a lot of us women, because I remember my ex was accused of the same thing about not loving black women because he made a statement and it was something that rubbed women the wrong way. And I remember him showing me his like comment section and people were inboxing, "Oh, you don't love black women." He's like, "I'm literally with the blackest black woman, Wakanda forever." Like, what are you talking about? Just because I'm saying something to hold women accountable, it means that I don't love black women. So like, it just makes it seem like black women as a whole, as a unit, are not accountable. Like, and that's crazy to me. So I find it interesting when you're putting a mirror in front of somebody's face that they just push the mirror away and say, "Well, you're doing that because you don't like women that look like me." And it's like, what are we talking about? It's so funny, and this is completely off topic, but I don't know if you guys have watched the movie Sinners, and if you have not, please go and support Ryan Coogler. Like, please go support that movie. Go support Michael B. Jordan and every single actor and actress that was in that movie. But before I went to go see the movie, there was a character, there's a love interest. Just to give you a little insight, Michael B. Jordan basically plays twins. He is two. There's two. So the ladies love that, by the way. There are two Michael B. Jordans in this movie, and one of the twins is had a relationship with um, a more voluptuous black woman with darker skin. And there was this post that came out going around saying, a lot of you probably thought that this was his mom and not his love interest because you guys don't think that a man like Michael B. Jordan, could have a character that loves a woman like that. And I remember that thing going around, and under the comments, almost every other comment was like, nobody thought that. Like, no one thought that. No one looked at this woman and this man in that scene in any way and ever thought that that was his mother. That was somebody's own internal projection of the fact that in their mind, they didn't think that. And so they put it out on the internet, hoping that people were going to rally behind and be like, yeah, because of colorism and all of these different things, this is the reason. And it was like no one thought that. And I think it's so interesting that as a people, and I'm just going to speak to women, as women, when we have our own internal struggles, how we will project that so much because it's like we're looking for that validation to be like, yes, that is right. That you don't love black women, or you don't like dark skinned women, or you don't like bigger women, or you don't like that. And it's often because we're projecting, and we have to be mindful. Because again, like I said, that's why a couple of my relationships didn't work, was my own projection. But we have to be mindful of how we're projecting our own insecurities out there, especially when we're trying to thrive in a relationship. So I have one more question. And this one is gonna maybe be a head scratcher. So last question of the night. What's your most unpopular opinion about modern relationships? So again, what's your most unpopular opinion about modern relationships? Ooh.
I'm gonna say that we're equal. Equal. Yeah, I think that's the thing. And when I say that, because it's weird to me, because we go to work, we go shopping, we go to stores, we go whatever. Go. There's always a hierarchy. There's always a manager, or vice president, president. You know what I mean? There's levels of everything, right? Everything.
Levels to this. Yeah.
It's just somebody got to report to someone. Somebody got to report to someone. But for some reason, in relationship now, there's no head of the house. It's like, no, we're both head of the house. I'm like, no, we're not.
That's not possible.
There's roles.
Yeah.
We need, and I say a lot. I said we need each other, right? There's
Amen.
things that you're good at. There's things you can do that I can't do. There's things I can't do. But in the day, we're not equal. So you have to stop acting like we're on the same level. Because as soon as let's say Trump goes to war and they say, all right, now everyone got on the list. You don't want to be equal then. Oh, I'm a woman. I'm gonna stay home with the kids because I don't want to go and fight. Like, no. Like, no. If you want to be equal, no. If you get draw, let's go. Come on. Get on the front line with us. Carry your backpack, your own gun and stuff, and keep moving. No, I'm not helping you up. I'm not waiting for you.
No, thank you.
So I think that's the problem I struggle with now in this modern time with dating now. All that is that, we're equal. No, we're not. We're just not.
We're not. And that's okay.
And they start.
And it's okay. Like, it's okay not to be equal. I've never understood the problem. So I agree with you. It's like, I don't want to be equal. I am absolutely okay with the fact that I have certain strengths that my partner doesn't have, and he has certain strengths that I don't have, and there will never be a draft. You know what I'm saying, for women? Like, it's even in countries where it's as soon as you turn 18, you're in the military. That's only for men. I don't know any country, and I'd have to do research, where it's men and women, where it's like as soon as you turn 18, you go and you sign up, because if they have a war, every citizen goes to war. No, there is no country that does that. It's men. Men automatically will be drafted, and women stay home with the children. That's like, we're not. I think my my unpopular opinion about modern dating is the idea, um, that every woman believes that they deserve the men that they want. Social media has done a number, on us as women. The instant gratification, the likes, the thirsty DMs, as I call them, all of those different things, the OnlyFans, and we're looking at what Uncle Shay Shay is going through. Potentially could lose a lot of money on some women who I don't think a lot of men that I know would have even given a second look at if she was walking she was walking down the street, right? And I think it has become where a lot of us,
Art.
okay, a lot of us, we've seen enough of the Kendra G dating show, or when Uncle Kevin Samuels, rest in peace, was alive, and we see these, we see the pop the balloon shows, and we're seeing all of these in real time, where women just feel, by the virtue of being a woman, and asking for something, that because I can see a woman on social media or whomever, doing that, that I deserve that too. And I would also say my other one is the misuse of the word misogynist, where a lot of women are feeling, because a man has certain demands of his woman, because, as you know, twins have talked about this for years. I believe in traditional gender roles. I believe that there are things that men do and that women do. Going to your point that we're not equal, we have different strengths, and so forth. Like, when I live with my man, he wants to cook, he can. It's a nice gesture, but I grew up in a household where the woman cooked, the woman cleaned, the woman did the laundry, the woman would take the man's clothes to the dry cleaner, the woman picked it up. That's how I want my marriage to be. Now, if my husband decides, hey, babe, I'm sure, let's, do that, great, we can discuss it, but I don't have an expectation. But there are women who will say that because a man has certain values and wants to be more traditional, that he's a misogynist, which is awful, because misogyny literally means the hatred of women. Um, so I would say those are my popular opinions. And I can see there are a couple of comments here. And thank you again, Trevoris. Unpopular opinion: most modern women want the attention of a whore, god damn, but don't want to be approached as one. Oof, oof. I mean, I had to sit
That
that.
part.
I'm leaning for it.
That
I'm
part.
leaning for it, but let me sit that. Huh, huh, huh. I'm,
Speechless?
I'm just, no, it's funny, because it goes along with essentially what I just said. It was a harsher way to say what I just said. And this is why I'm saying, like, the whole social media concept of this, we grew up in an era of delayed gratification, right? There was not an instantaneous way to do things. If you remember getting your first bank account, if you wanted money, and if somebody had to borrow money from you, they were either following you to the bank, you guys were going to go to the bank machine. There was no instantaneous way of just transferring money, right? I remember, having to send money to my family in Jamaica. There was no PayPal. Let me just, and you have the money right away. I was going to Western Union and standing in a line and going through and doing the paperwork. And now when it comes to social media, I think about the fact that, like, we again can get likes on pictures and so forth. So I don't disagree. I think a lot of us want that, again, going back to the attention versus intention. a lot of us want that attention for being sexy, or you're not even pretty anymore. Back in the day, you had to have something going for you, but now, women on Instagram are calling themselves IG models, because they've got a BBL or whatever the case might be. But yeah, that one hit me hard. That was a harsh one, but you ain't wrong. Um, King's Cash Court says too many people out here with outlandish initial expectations and standards. I think that means publicly. Um, I think that also aligns with what I was saying, right? The expectation of just because I want something means that I can get it. And this is what's gone from the 6 over 6 foot, 6 figure, 6 inches demand that a lot of people are making. And I think that's so interesting because now that we have so much access, and I think a lot of us as women see, well, this woman has done it. Like if an NBA player picks up a woman with a child and he doesn't have a child, well, such and such did it, so it can happen to me. And it's just like, but you're also not her.
The biggest one is Sierra and Russell Wilson.
Everybody wants to see her prayer.
Everybody wants a Russell Wilson. He accepted her kids. He accepted her whole background. Why can't you?
I'm just gonna leave that there. We're going to go into our dating tip. If you are new to Voice, again, welcome to the show. We do dating tips at the end. So if you have a dating tip you would like to give, please put it, and I will put it on the screen and read it out. I'm gonna start. My dating tip for the week is get yourself relationship ready before you're in a relationship. When you're in the relationship isn't the time to learn how to be in a relationship. Now, you are going to be in a relationship and learn each other. I think that's the important part, right? How do I effectively love this person? But a relationship, being in a relationship isn't a relationship 101 guide to being in a relationship. Really think about how you thrive best in relationships, and what qualities you have to make your partner thrive. I think as women, we can be inherently selfish as women, and it's often what is my partner giving to me and not what do I give to my partner. So really get yourself relationship ready, whatever that might look like for you and your potential partner before getting into a relationship. It will save you a lot of heartache and a lot of time. Twins.
So I have a relationship / dating tip. So it could be both.
Ooh.
One. So I would say when it comes to a disagreement that one person brings up. So the woman can bring one up, the guy can bring one up, whatever. Focus on that talking point. Don't start pulling in other scenarios
Mm.
to like, well, you do this or that time over there, and now we're arguing about something else besides the main thing I brought up in the first place, right? Focus on the one thing that whoever presented. So whoever presented first, if you do it, he do it. Whoever brings up, babe, I have a concern. Focus on that topic. Finish that topic.
Hmm.
Then you can say, okay, we got that established, move forward. But not in the middle of that conversation, you start bringing up other stuff about, well, 2 weeks ago or a month ago
Yeah.
or yesterday. No, because now the argument's all over the place. And having a healthy, and mind you, we're going to have arguments and disagreements in relationships. It's going to happen.
Amen. Hmm.
So yes, this is a dating in the relationship tip because you have to get through that process because certain arguments can end the relationship. You can say some
Amen.
stuff and be done before you even get started, or depending on how long it
Amen.
is, it can end. So it's very important that you have adult conversations and listen. And who are the person to bring up the argument or the discussion? No argument. Whoever bring up the discussion first, you must. And I say this, you must have to get that point resolved before you start bringing a bunch of million other things that you didn't bring up. That's my tip for the night.
Amen. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for joining. I don't see any relationship tips in the comment section. So I want to, again, thank you, everybody, for joining. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share this conversation. And I will repeat my new book, Love Rules Part 2, Love Reimagined, is out now. It is part of a 6-part series. That is the second book in the series. Please go out and get Love Rules book 1 and 2. I also have the Sienna series and my Pride and Joy, No Handouts for Black Girls. If you have a young Black girl in your life, an older Black woman, please get that book for them. You can go read the reviews. If you happen to be in the Toronto area, the book is also available on the Toronto Public Library app called Libby. Yes, your girl has been acquired by the library. So please go and check this out. And we will still see you guys all next week. Twins, final word.
2 times. Don't get that book, y'all. Second book is out. Don't get it. Don't get it. If you get the first one, don't get the first one. You know, so when you get book 2, you understand. You gotta read book
What's
1.
going
So
on?
get book 1.
Thank you. Get book 2 and then book 3. Book 3 will be out on June the 1st. I'm editing it right now. So your girl is busy and she's working. So thank you everybody for the support and we will see you next week. Bye. See you.